Boyd's coach just got ejected in the middle of a $3 million tournament. That's right. He literally got like kicked out of this team. He's no longer allowed to coach his team. Literally in the middle of the tournament. We saw this tweet from it literally got the attention of Jake Sucky, which is a huge esports journalist. Let's go ahead and watch what went down in the game to kind of cause this, right?
Lower bracket run begins. Hopefully they're gonna be able to be a bit more.
Yeah, so this is
Budega still not happy.
This is after, and I'm gonna mute it because I feel we don't need to hear like the music and whatnot. We just kind of see him like just yelling at these guys and just going to the other team. This was after Spoit's game against Bolo. So M80 and DZ played each other in the first round of playoffs in a $3 million Six Invitational ever. Or Six Invitational, the biggest Siege tournament ever. I'm like losing my mind because I'm so tired right now. But Budega gets in their face. The admins have to separate him. What is he so mad about, right? And following that, right? Following the R6 Esports account tweeted that following an altercation during the DarkZero and M80 match, M80 coach Mateus Budega Figueiredo and M80 manager Igor Vivas, which is their assistant coach, are ejected from the Six Invitational effective immediately. They got themselves disqualified from the tournament, and now Spoit M80 have to go on coachless. What happened? What happened? This made literally huge news all over Twitter. But let's go ahead and let's figure out what happened together. So this goes all the way back to the last map of the match. Now this was a banger game. This was a really good game between DarkZero and M80. It was a good showcase. At round 1-0, DarkZero wins, or I think M80 wins. I think a timeout is called, right? And during a timeout is called, Budega is talking to their players. All right, so timeout is called. Budega starts calling to their players. During a coach, if you don't know in Siege, or in any esport, honestly, coaches can only talk during a timeout. Coaches can't talk during the game, because what would be the point of having IGL? You just have 5 gunners, you tell them what the fuck to do, right? They try it in CS, it's boring as hell. So coaches do a lot of work outside the game, but they can only talk during the timeout. So a timeout is called. Boo starts talking during the timeout. He starts, chatting to strats with his players, and then it seems like what happened was at the end of the timeout, he continues to see the talk a little bit, right? And the strange thing that happens is that they play out the whole of the next round. The next round entirely is played, right? They play this round. Like, this happens. DarkZero win this round. And then the admins do a pause to call action and basically start saying, like, hey, like, during that timeout, you talked after the round. That's not allowed. You're not allowed to communicate with them like after the timeout's over. You're not allowed to communicate outside of the timeouts. And, it's obviously really distracting to the players. He's trying to tell them that, I didn't know that shit. Blah, 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 blah. And what ends up happening after this is that DZ get rewarded with a round. Okay? So DZ literally, get a free round handed to them by the admins as a punishment for Boo Boo talking after the timeout. I think what Boo Boo ended up being really mad at, which ended up being the altercation after that was over, is Kobe Lax and other DZ members literally yelling and taunting Boo Boo about it. It's like, oh, I can't believe you did. Like, you need to talk to your players outside the round. Blah, 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 blah. And then that's what ended up leading to this altercation after the match where Boo Boo's kind of getting in their face saying, that's shameful. You guys should be ashamed. Blah, 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 blah. But what I want to do is, obviously, there's a lot of noise surrounding this. There's a lot of noise saying that M80's coach sold. This is not okay. This is unprofessional. I want to give a chance for Budega, because he went on Spoit's stream afterwards, who was being run by Spoit's manager, to give his side of the story. Let's go ahead and take a listen.
So, Budega, I wanted to offer you an opportunity to obviously have a say, to kind of clear up a lot of things and say the things you need to say. A few words for the M80 fans. Today's been not the best day. I'm sure you're aware.
Yeah. First thing, thank you, Seb. You're the first few people that is giving me a platform to speak myself about what happened today. First thing I want to say is sorry to all the M80 fans. Something really unfortunate happened today. During the game against DarkZero, I called a timeout and I started talking about my play. The timeout ends. I kept talking, but I get cut off, So after after the 45 seconds, your voice gets cut off and the players can't hear you anymore. But I didn't notice that, and I kept talking even way, you know. But like 2 seconds after it ended, the admin said, "Yo, it's finished. You gotta stop talking," and I stopped talking. And that was it, basically. And we played the round, and after that, they said that I was giving extra information to the players. They proved that because I was talking after the timeout. There was no like signaling that the timeout ended for me, and I just kept talking. And then once it was signaled to me by the admin that, hey, the timeout ended, you gotta stop talking, I stopped talking. And even the admin said that to me after they got the punishment. That's the background, all right? And then the game ended. During the game, it was a fire-ass game. It was one of the best games I was playing in the tournament. And DZ was playing a hell of a match. We lost. DZ convincingly wins bank against us. But during the game, there was a few things that made me a little bit mad. They came from Nath, and he kept talking about the ruling of the situation, you know. He said that I was talking to the players, but I wasn't, you know. Luckily for me, it's all recorded by Ubisoft. All the games are recorded, and Ubisoft has all the rights and everything, all the archives. It's all on them, and they have that, and they know that I wasn't talking to anyone about threats. I never had any intention to do any physical contact with the player, and even if you see on the video, he was the first one that initiated contact with me. He even pushed at me, and not me that pushed into him. That's clearly on the video.
I don't think we want to talk so much about that situation.
Yeah, and then it kind of gets a little bit press control, so I'm going to stop it right there. But he basically said the bulk of what he wanted to say. So what do I think of that? Based off what he said, my opinion on like entirely what he has said. Thank God one of you fucking screenshot of the tweets. He tweets us out. This is basically what it is. He's got warnings during the event about communicating with his team outside of a timeout. And based on entirely what he said, if what he said is true, thank you so much for the sub and join no ads. I agree with. I do think the ruling is a little bit unfair. Based off what he said. If what he said is the only reason they took away a round after the fact. Right? What he's saying is true. During the event, when you call a timeout, you don't really get much of an indication. I think I remember they'll tell you, maybe it's their jobs, it's the admin jobs in the TeamSpeak channel where the microphones are going through. And by the way, these are sound canceling headsets. You cannot hear shit. Right? It's the admin's job to both mute your microphone once your timeout is done, give you a 5-second countdown once your timeout's almost over, also give you like a timer on how much seconds left you have in your timeout, and let you know that. The thing is, if his players were able to hear him after the timeout was over, then that means the mic wasn't properly muted. So, you know, that's not really his fault. No, so I'm not saying the admins are doing things wrong. I'm just saying, if what he's saying is 100% the situation and there's no other outside info, then I do kind of see how that ruling is a little bit unfair in that you let the round play out and there was maybe not so much of a clear warning beforehand. Hey, be careful, if you do this again, we'll give the enemy team a round. But that enemy team was given an entire round after the fact. For the record, I want to pull up Gunner's tweet now, which is also important in this. It's like, before the massive wave of hate hits, I don't want people to think that we are cheating. I'm not mad at the ref's decision for the round. Neither am I, right? I think, you know, the refs are very good refs. They do their good jobs very well. That's why Siege is a sustainable esport for this fucking long. Players cannot hear Boo Boo outside of a timeout. Even if you try to say something, we only got any info out of a timeout. I just want to limit the amount of hate because you cannot hear anything they say. They mute your mic. You have sound canceling headsets. That's whatever. That's that. So that's, you know, Boo Boo's thing. And that's why he's saying he's getting punished for things he didn't do. They said he continued to try to talk, and he's like, oh no, but we have they have voice comm recordings. They can see that Boo Boo shuts up once the admin tells him to shuts up, and he's basically saying, I'm getting, you know, scapegoated, blah, 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 and then I didn't touch anyone. That's besides the specifics of the point now. So that's his situation on that That is my opinion. And obviously the community outlash is a bit fucking large, right? Because, you know, in their eyes, on Jinxie's stream, we basically saw that, oh, the coach is selling the game. So obviously the community think is like, oh, what the fuck is Budega doing? You know, like, Pengu kind of making like comments about it, Glaxing making comments absolutely unacceptable, respectfully stop tweeting, you're having a moment, you cross the fucking line, Budega kind of going a bit wild in the replies about it, and this is where I want to kind of put my opinion into the frame. So the general public consensus is that Budega's an idiot, he sold this team the game, he's being an idiot, he's being unprofessional, blah, 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 and for me, where does my opinion fully stand at the end of the day, is that I disagree with both sides. I disagree pretty strongly with both sides. The way I view it is I do think the ruling was a little bit unjust if what he's saying is true, but my opinion is that I only care about winning or losing. I've said this on stream earlier. So in that regard, I think Budega trolled. Right? Not in the regard of, oh, he's childish, he's unprofessional, he's this, he's that, oh, why would he do that? He's no. It's just losing the game. The admins at the end of the day have all the power. The power lies in the admin's decision. They control your fate. Right? If I've already pissed off an admin, I'm not going to continue to push my luck with said admin, even if I'm in the right, because that is at risk of ejecting me from the team, losing my team a coach for the rest of the tournament, also in the middle of the match, making a huge issue that distracts my players' minds away from the game. Right? As much as the players will tell you, oh, I can focus, oh, don't worry, you know, we can still play the game, it didn't really affect us. At the end of the day, if there's a chance that it distracts their mind and focus away from the game, that, my friends, is where it fucks up. That, my friends, is why I believe it's troll. Because it's not out of professionality or being cute or, you know, being ethical or having morals for me. It's if I'm competing and I want to win, I'm not going to risk losing my team and coach. Sure, we tanked the round. I'm sorry. My fucking fault. I shut the fuck up for the rest of the day. I shake everyone's hands. I play like a pussy. Now, the players, I'm really glad the players' reactions to this is very mature. This is the best possible way they can handle this, right? They said that me, Spoit, Packer, Gunner, and Diffuser talked. I assure all the fans we're hungrier than ever. We're not letting this affect us at all. Lower Ren starts with fire in our fucking asses. That's exactly how you do it, because the biggest detriment this could do to your team's performance is simply mental, is simply distracting, is simply checking out after, oh, we lost our coach, we have no more timeouts, we have no more game planning when we're on that stage. Fuck, man. And letting that tilt you. No, I texted Kino. I told them I still believe they can win the whole thing because they have two of my boys from Manchester. I fucking believe them, and that's the right mindset. They have to go into it fully firing. Thank you, VK Avster, for the sub. But yeah. But on the side of Budega, however, so this is M80 CEO. This is his opinion. Disappointed and shocked by what transpired today during that match. Completely unacceptable. Sorry to the fans, players, Ubisoft staff, DarkZero for what took place. Completely ashamed of how M80 was represented today. Really, no words. But I talked with Budega, and it seems more like Budega. And this is the difference between me and him as a person. And I want you guys to know that, like, when I say my opinion, I'm not saying, like, this is the right thing. I'm saying that's how I view the world. I'm trying to help you guys understand how me, Fettuccine Rainbow Six, views the world. Right? Is that, like, what Budega views the world is, Budega says, I will make myself a martyr for an unjust ruling that I believe is unfair. Right? Whereas I'm like, I'll be a pussy and not piss off these admins so that I can go on to win this tournament and not chalk my team. So that's kind of the difference in mindsets. And obviously the esports world at large had the mindset of, oh, that's unprofessional and childish and completely unacceptable to be done on a professional esports scene. So I hope those three breakdowns of those three perspectives really shows you the difference in the perspectives going in, and it helps you formulate your own opinion on what to think going forward. I don't want anyone taking my opinion and be like, oh, that's the right answer. No, that is my answer because I want to win. I don't care how pissed off I am at that thing. I will play a pussy. I will take the ruling. I will tank the round. That's on me. My fault. You know, sorry admins, shake my hand, but my team still has a coach for the rest of the tournament and we can still go on to win, and I don't distract them from the game. I make it as easy as possible, right? Speaking of Budega being a martyr, according to rumors, he has been banned permanently for 2 years from the competitive scene. But speaking of martyrs, this isn't the first time this has happened to Budega. I don't even think this is the second time this happened to Budega. Because on May 17 and 18, 2022, between Xset and Team Liquid on his old team, Budega breached the Rainbow Six Circuit global rulebook and engaged in major misconduct directed at members of Team Liquid, and was issued a 12-month-long suspension effective immediately May 18, 2023, and a fine of $5,000 against Xset. He's done this before. This is no rodeo to Budega, and it was because he was shit talking them. And look, if you look at him down here,
those two old players of OXG, Kino 2 kills, Yaga the 3 in the middle, and Xset pick up a flawless first round.
Yep, and that's that one. And then another one where it didn't result in a ban, but kind of a moment where, you know, on a 2024 Six Invitational, look, he's really pissed off in this game, because if I remember correctly, there was a competitive ruling against Bleed, the team that they played, and Budega was like, listen, okay, I understand. I'm not gonna punish you guys for it, even though I have the chance to. But then M80 had like another bug happen during the game, and then Bleed decided, yes, we are gonna penalize him, we are gonna take that round. And Budega was like, no, like, that's not honorable. So it seemed like Budega's definitely in the camp of multiple times in a row for fighting for himself, for standing his ground, for being a martyr if he thinks there's an issue that he believes in, which would be right or wrong, completely up to you guys, right? I think it loses tournaments, so it's wrong. Like, I don't think it's wrong because it's ethically or morally wrong or whatever. I think it's wrong because it loses you the game. I don't really care about winning or losing. That's my competitor's mindset, right? When I talk about professionalism, when I talk about having comms, when I talk about attitude, when I talk about slipping through scrims, I don't do it to be cutesy and professional about, oh, you need to be a pro, you need to have a good PR training. No, it loses you games. It loses you games. It literally just loses you games. It's about win or losing for me. So this isn't his first rodeo with this. Slight update on the Budega situation. Speaking of winning and losing, right after the game that like Budega got like, you know, banned off the team and disqualified or whatever, like they lost. I mean, he just lost a CAG. I will live review this later, and this will be another video. But you can see no Budega behind them. Their coaches literally cannot communicate with them. They were banned from talking to them, and they just lost right after. Right? That's why That's why I condemn it as like a bad move. It's a losing move. You lose your team at coach, you lose your team some prep, and you lose yourself like the tournament because of it, and they got knocked out because they're probably chalked by this. As much as they say they're trying their hardest out of this, they're probably chalked by it, right? Second thing, the ruling came out. The competitive ruling did just come out. It's so Budega, following altercation, Budega receives a major misconduct penalty, result in a competitive suspension of 2 years, effective immediately. Additionally, a fine of $10,000 versus M80, and then their assistant coach receives a minor misconduct penalty. So, yeah, that's the verdict of that. That's for the YouTube video. That's just an update. There we go. That's the update that just happened today. We're going to throw that in right there, but enjoy the rest of the video. Now, the second thing that transpired as a result is I got a lot of tweets. I got a lot of tweets telling me to come back and coach because I'm signed to M80 as a content creator, bro. They're like, Fett, come back and coach these guys, you know, come back and coach. Fett, go coach them. Fett potentially getting called up. Fett, come on, sub in. You know, they need you standing coach for M80. It's your time to shine. Blah, 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 blah. And then, you know, we got even casters making fucking memes about me coming in. I want to say something about this. And, you know, obviously I'm retired. Obviously my eyes are set on science. I'm no longer in Siege for a reason. I will not be subbing into coach. Thank you for the get this up, Redbeard. But the biggest thing is I fucking suck. I suck, and Budega's an infinitely better coach than me. All right, here's a number one thing I also want to establish about Budega in this situation, because I feel like people are like, oh my god, Budega's sold, get Fett or Merc in there. Budega's a really good friend of mine. Budega is a really good coach. Budega is a really, really good coach. Better than me, in my opinion, right? So if you remember this video, which was Uzi's first Pro League game, you can notice that these teams don't have jerseys, right? Uzi's Pro League team does not have jerseys, and Budega's behind these guys. Uzi's first Pro League game, that's Uzi. Budega's behind them. They have no jerseys. How did that transpire, chat? How is Budega coaching Uzi at his first ever Pro League game? Well, this is because Budega got dropped from M80 for a slight bit and coached a Tier 2 Orgless team to beat the former defending major champions that I coached after I left them, Cloud9 Beast Ghost, Wildcard, another pro team, and auctioned another pro team to qualify for the Montreal Major entirely through open qualifiers. 3 pro teams, including the defending major champions at the time, and a team of Tier 2 players. He led them with his leadership to qualify for Montreal $750,000 major for Uzi's first ever Pro League game. That's how that transpired. Because of Budega, right? He's fucking him, right? He's really a really good coach, and I want to make that clear because he's my friend, and I learned a lot from him when I was first getting into the scene. He established Xset, who had a really horrible team before Budega joined. Look, they were literally 9th, 8th, 9th. They got relegated, and then they got back in the league, and this is when they picked up Budega as a coach. They completely changed their team, and they became a top 4 team at Berlin. They were a top 8 team at Charlotte. And they went on to go compete at Invite and do everything beyond as M80, right? So the M80 versus Liquid game, right? M80 started the match getting 7-1'd by Liquid on Nighthaven, right? And then they come back to kind of like demolish Liquid on like the next few maps. And he called a crazy game plan that to go super fast into Liquid's playstyle, which I could have never called in my life, to take second place in his group with a brand new team. And he calls really good timeouts. So on some real stuff, like, and I literally told him if I coach this game, I would have lost. So besides the fact that I'm retired, I want to just establish that Budega is one of the best coaches in the world. I've learned so much from him. He is an absolute beast, and I don't want anyone making anything clear other than the fact that I suck, bro. I suck. I'm a fraud now. My knowledge is washed. I not only would not come back coaching for my career, but just because I'm a fraud. I'm washed up. I'm washed up. Let's get over the fact I don't need to come back. Don't tarnish people's name and don't make them too much of a meme about it. But in other Siege drama news, there's another slightly interesting story that happened at Invite so far, which I might as well cover in this video because it's like, you know, we're talking about Siege drama. Psycho's IGL started screaming at his team, and then there created a lot of community talk around the topic of like, you know, like, oh, what does it mean to like scream at your team and have a good mental? So let's go ahead and watch the clip. Jake Sucky even reported it, like R6 like pro, like Yvek was facing a bit of backlash for this reaction after a blown on an SI. What are we thinking? And let's go ahead and watch.
For BDS, everything about the round coming out of a timeout said that they should go on and win it, and for DarkZero to bring that round back in that fashion and make it 4-0 out of the timeout.
I'm asking, do you guys want to push right or long bar? No one answering. No one. I'm holding the red flag. I don't know. So what the fuck are we doing? Focus the plan. 5v3, it's perfect. We got our tricky because they're playing like fucking retard. After that, for 1 minute 50, guys, 1 minute 50, no one answering to me. Next time, you guys, what I'm going to do? I'm going to fucking ruin the round and scream to everyone until someone's killed. Okay?
So I had some people look at this and like, or I looked at the people that were looking at this and kind of like figuring out what happened. What did he say? Because it's very French strong accent. He's basically saying no one's making a decision. I asked you guys to push, and I'll pull up a fucking like. I'll pull up some spreadsheets so you guys can understand what the hell I'm talking about. So he's basically saying, do I want to push Whitehall because they took this control, or do we want to push Long Bar, the two alleys on Cafe? And he's basically saying, for 1 minute 50, no one's talking to me. We focused the objective, we focused on our game plan, and we got a 5v3 because they peaked like idiots. So it was perfect. And then after that, no one talked to me. So like, what the fuck are we doing? And next time I'm gonna ruin the round and scream, and then no one talking. How about that? Basically getting a little bit mad at his team, but kind of getting the fire in his asses. Obviously, most of the public can kind of see that and being like, whoa, 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 you know, what's going on? You know, like, that's a bit toxic. But Call Out, the coach of SSG, which I've also, a huge mentor of mine, who is a really big team culture guy. SSG is a great team with amazing team culture. Tweeted that started kind of the information, like a kind of chain reaction of conversation, where he said, esports is the only sport where this isn't the norm. Good on him on trying to light a fire under his team's ass. And it got 3,000 likes. And then Fabian, the goat of Siege, or like the goat mind of Siege, because he has 2 6 invitationals, 1 as a player, IGL, 1 as a coach years later. And he goes, you raise your voice at someone these days, and you are the reason they're in a bad mood. People shut down mentally, not because they're weak mental or lack of stress management. Very few players come back from negative momentum. Even a Valorant player from G2 talked about it. It's something we constantly try to work on and goes in, because people need to take accountability for their mistakes in game. Raising your voice is naturally a way of addressing. If teammate shuts down from that, I think there's a big disconnection between the players and the IGL coach. Not understanding their leader coach and how to lead, blah, 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 blah. You're right with and something about the childhood. We're never yelled at as a kid, so they don't know how to deal with it as an adult. Fabian responds again, you're right with the childhood being an impact of never receiving and being shouted at. If you've gone through sports as a child and in your youth gotten used to it, you have an ambitious team, captain or coach. A lot of young players haven't had that. It's just more than normal to not go through any sports these days. Owning mistakes is something that is a core fundamental to make sure a team works. So it looks like Fabian more so wants people to be able to get yelled at, right? But the responsibility is hard to teach when lack of real life experience. They're in combination with going straight from school to a comfy esports job. Playing is their hobby and passion, and now their job, and they don't know what a job really is. Basically saying people are kind of soft. Jess, also another prominent esports figure in the scene, responded or quote tweeted this. Call Out had another response to that, actually. He said, I think it comes from an issue because most players never experience real-time accountability due to lack of life experience, sport experience. Basically saying, everyone's saying, people don't play sports enough. And then she said, what's this? Teams don't get taught how to regulate their emotions and draw important information from frustration rather than interpreting it as attack. You don't think you need a mental coach. You think it should always be good vibes. Half the players would be better if they learn to take feedback and progression over ego. I'm going to play a clip for you guys, and I want you to draw information from it. And thank you to Tommy Shelby for fucking putting this up there.
Shut it up, you want
Okay, never mind. It has fucking
in my entire 6 months here. But what the
it's too much music on it. Holy shit.
Oh, he sounds mad.
I haven't shut it up, you want in my entire 6 months here. But what the fuck are we doing? We're timid, we're not talking, we're shouting over each other. Fucking wake up! Is this how we want to go out of the tournament? We've shown everyone here that we were the best team in this tournament in group stages. F***ing do it! You guys got this! Communication and coordination! We're one by one dying everywhere! Time to wake up! F***ing get the energy! Fire in your assets! Get this shit done! Let's go, boys. Let's wake up. F***ing energy! Show it!
And that team ended up winning that entire tournament. All right, they became the champions. That exact roster with Fabian as the coach off of IGL immediately won that entire tournament. After that, $3 million tournament is theirs. Right. So I want everyone to kind of like take a moment, and if you're viewing from this from at home, is really just like absorb like what you think we're winning pieces of information and losing pieces of information, and form your own opinion. I'm not saying there's right or wrong answers, but for the general pro population, it seems like a lot of pros are coming out and saying like, yo, this is some goat shit. Like, this is, Lucky Feck is in the right. You're entirely in the right. This is some great things. A lot of the pro population is like, people should be able to take criticism. People should be able to take, being pushed to your limits and being yelled at. And that's kind of like the pro opinion going into it. I know surface level, the lower public can think, okay, that's a bit mean or toxic, but now I think people are really rising up saying, yeah, you should play sports. This is very normal in sports, and you need to go through this kind of hardship to become the next player. Now, it's time to get to my opinion, which is like what I want to talk about in this half of the video. I agree with almost everyone on what they're saying. I feel like being able to function in an environment where you can handle the heat, where you can handle criticism, where you can understand the criticism or personal attacks are a really big thing. However, I was a big team culture guy, right? So there's a delicate balance. Now, I'm not saying that any of what Likeyfax said, what Fabian said, or anything was wrong, but I think there's a really delicate balance, because in Fabian's timeout, you heard very important lines, right? We proved that we're the best team in the group stages. You guys got this. Fucking energy. Show it. Get that energy up in your asses. The fire in your asses. It's inspiring hope. It's positivity in there, showing that we still can win, because like I said, I'm not saying anyone's saying anything wrong, but I'm saying there is a way that you can yell at your team that insta loses you the game by hammering the final nail in the doubt. Why? Because, you know, the doubt's building up in their head. As they're losing a game, they're building more and more and more and more doubt. Like, we're not talking, we're not good enough, we're not doing this, we're not doing this. And if a guy comes in and goes like, yo, what the fuck are we doing? We're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this, we're not doing this. It just confirms all those doubts that we're stacking in the head, and just pushes that further of, oh shit, we really aren't good. We're shit. We have so much wrong with us. We can't do anything. We're so shit. What's the point of even trying? And ultimately tilting your team to oblivion, because a bad teammate, absolutely a bad teammate, can single-handedly lose you an entire tournament or an entire game, lose you practice time or whatever. So I do like what Likeyfax said. I do like what Fabian said, right? But what I want to spread to the public is that if you're competing in esports, just because you're fucking heroes and your idols and these big dudes are saying, because you have to understand, they see it from their world of like hyper competition, right? That gives you no right to go to your team and start screaming at them and shitting on them, because like I said, in roller tournaments, for example, whoever crashes out loses. Did I not? I proved that in my video. I literally made a video about there was literally a string of tournaments where every single time a team flamed their own teammates or got mad at their teammates, they would go on to lose the map, right? I don't remember if you watched that video. I'll go ahead and pull it up right now. Yeah, they lost. And this wasn't only a trend in this game. This was a trend in like the past entire roller tournament before this. They won 2 rounds back. This is W Jinxie, by the way. I'm proud of him.
I got caught out bottom blue.
I mean, that's fine, but there's a guy in sight.
Yeah, see that?
I just got killed.
Too focused on the last round.
This guy's
I don't know where Maverick entered from. I think
you hear that?
They're
not even worried about attack right now.
Or like from circle.
It's too much yap about last round. That's the issue. You can't let the narrative get to you.
And there's nothing on y'all upstairs. One y'all have to come down, bro.
It doesn't matter. They're on attack now. Literally none of that matters anymore, chat. Right? This is all wasted seconds. Every second that they're talking about the last round on a half switch is a wasted second, right, chat? None of that matters. They're no longer on bank.
Going to play a bank defense ever again, right? And then another one, by the way.
They're giving up too early.
Stun red hot.
They're giving up too early. They're giving up
I actually
too
can't
early.
do this, chat. Like, I feel like my team's just dead every round, bro.
I feel like my team's just dead every round. Who do you take a guess who loses the map? Who loses the map? Who loses the map? Right? Who loses the map? Right? It's consistent. It's consistent. It literally doesn't stop.
I swung, hit him twice.
Okay,
this is all one stream. This is all the same tournament.
I swung my desk, but bro, I couldn't. I didn't realize what that was, bro. I brain farted, bro.
Fuck.
I mean.
God damn it, Raid. God fucking damn it, Raid.
I mean, it was a 4v2.
Oh.
Look, why is there so much blame game? Calm the fuck down. Who cares? Go next round. The talk's too much.
Jinxie loses. Defeat. Jinxie loses, right? It's the most like correlated pattern of all time. So yeah, like I said, like every time you flame your team, you lose a round. So that's why I'm saying, and the reason I'm using roller tournaments, the reason I'm using Fettception, is because like, dude, like you can't take like you Fat yelling at his teammates because he's a fucking fantastic IGL and knows what will tilt his team and not, and then apply it to your own fucking game in a console tournament or a console lobby and expect to win because there's examples of it literally losing your team rounds. Like, Sky is an amazing IGL, but he chalks, and the moment he chalks and talks shit about your family mid-game, you lose. and you're not coming back, right? So for that reason, I just want to make that message clear out to the public that, you know, don't try to take that literally. There's a delicate balance, in my opinion. But, I mean, yeah, that's pretty much all the news there was today at SI. So, Siege's biggest event of the year, biggest tournament of the year, already kind of 2 dramaful moments. I'm farming it. I made sure to ask Boo Boo if it's okay, because he's my boy, to post this. But yeah, let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Let me know what you think, you know, what you would have done in that situation, given all the information that's been there. Let me know if you like these type of videos where I report on these type of things. And yeah, all you motherfuckers, take it easy, take it safe, Dapper. Please don't let this video get demonetized. But that's it for Siege news, I guess. Siege news bites.